Dazzling with all the charms of Mexico, Acapulco is one of the greatest resorts in the world. Surrounded by mountains and fringed by glorious beaches, the city site is superb. Here at La Quebrada, there's a real contrast between the calm scenery and this bustling atmosphere. Hundreds of people gather here every day to watch the death-defying cliff divers. They plunge from the cliff top, performing leaps, twists and turns, falling 130 feet into the ocean below. Before they take their fall, they kneel at a shrine at the top of the cliff and say a prayer, in a hope that this will not be their last performance. The divers perform 6 shows a day, including an evening show where they dive with torches as part of a light show. They performed here since 1930, and amazingly there have never been any fatalities. Now, behind me you can see one of the most well-known and photographed landmarks in the world. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, standing an amazing 134 metres, it was built in 1932 to link the northern and southern shores of the harbour. Prior to the bridge being built, the only links were by a ferry, or a rather long 12.5-mile road route with 5 bridge crossings. Today, of course, boats and ships are frequent visitors to the harbour, forming a major part of the tourist industry. Now, this really is an impressive sight. Question for you: what do Matt Damon, Sarah Ferguson and Kylie Minogue all have in common? They have made it to the top of this, the Sydney Harbour Bridge Climb. The bridge climb allows visitors to make their way to the summit and indulge in a panoramic view of the city. If heights are not your thing, then join me next time for more relaxing travel highlights. Kota Kinabalu City, the capital of Sabah, is Borneo's remote province. It is a beautiful city located by the sea and is surrounded by tropical rainforests, miles of sandy beaches and warm, clear waters. Life in the villages, or a kampung, still remains pretty basic and traditional. The mangroves are an incredibly important part of daily life, not only for their income, through ventures such as crab catching, but for providing a source of food and materials. The blowpipe was a traditional weapon for hunting or combat amongst the people of Borneo. The blowpipe ammunition is a dart which is usually dipped in the sap of the Anthurius toxicara, a tree from the mulberry family. It is the poison, not the dart itself, that brings about the demise of their prey. Batik painting is a wax-resistant dyeing technique used on fabrics. Batik is found in several countries of Asia and West Africa, but the finest are found in Southeast Asia. Today I'm fortunate enough to be joined by a former newsreader, Jan Leeming. I have to say that one part of the programme I can't watch without having a cushion in front of my face is the bush tucker trial, where you have to eat insects. Not a favourite of mine. So Jan, please tell me, what does a witchetty grub taste like?
I can't really tell you what a witchetty grub tastes like because they'd made it into a smoothie, and I don't know what else they'd put in it. But it was like drinking coarse, ground up mushrooms.
At 6:45 a.m. on the 15th of November 1928, 17 men launched the lifeboat the Mary Stamford from here at Rye in East Sussex. Only 5 minutes later, at 6:50, the Rye Coast Guard received a message to say that the Latvian crew had been rescued successfully, but unfortunately by another vessel. Once they make their way into the boathouse, they have to get into the changing rooms as quickly as possible. Crew member Coles reporting for duty. Once in the bare suit, then you have to don the dry suit. So here goes. So, fully assembled, now for the final part of the uniform. obviously all completed very quickly, the team were then ready to make their way out to the boat. The RNLI is an emergency service run completely by volunteers. The community support is immense and is exactly the same today as it was with the disaster of the Mary Stamford.